Hey everyone! Welcome to Reality TV News Update, the place where you never miss a moment from your favorite shows. Plus, exclusive video of Jeff Probst starting the game. I posed a relatively simple question months ago. What is the best new era Survivor season? And that question was asked in poll form, with thousands of fans voting for their numero uno. Survivor 47 won that poll, followed closely and very surprisingly by Season 43. And then 46 and 45, but with 2 episodes left of Survivor 50. Is there a new contender for the best new era season crown? After some early stumbles, Zach Brown spearfishing, distinct lack of women's voices, the installment has been on a post-merge roll, delivering a string of strong and dramatic episodes. And the cast has delivered in a big way, starting from day one with big moves and hilarious confessionals. While the last 2 episodes will have a lot to do with the final ranking for Survivor 50, there are already some signs that the season will finish strong. For one thing, there are no GOATs out there. Everyone has at last a measure of agency and is playing the game. For another, I can't help but have faith in my fellow Survivor fans, and that they voted the final for fire making off the island. And let's not forget that we also have our first live reunion in 7 years, already giving this installment bonus points over the filmed in Fiji with just half the cast, who had not seen anything, so they could not react to what people said about them while playing after show. Even if Survivor 50 does not have an absolute banger of a finale like, say, Survivor 45, it's hard to imagine it being super unsatisfying either. But as of now, is Survivor 50 the best new era season? That is the question. I would say yes. The cast has been lights out. And while I haven't loved all the twists, the Jimmy Fallon punishment especially, the paired elimination was fantastic. And I really enjoyed the strategic possibilities of allowing one player to travel back and forth between voting groups last week. But mine is just one opinion. What do you think? Is Survivor 50 the best so far? Click on our poll below to cast your vote, and what will you get in return? I've got some exclusive videos for you below that, along with a former winner weighing in, and some outtakes from my interviews with Ozzy and Emily. It's time to open our last Survivor 50 mystery box of the season. Is Survivor 50 the best new era Survivor season so far? The dominant Is It Raining? Host who has the This is an important behind the scenes video to watch. Not just because it is Jeff Probst officially starting Survivor 50 by yelling "Bring in the barge" to start the season, but it also shows how ridiculously difficult this guy works. You've heard me for years talk about how Probst is the only host in the biz operating without an earpiece or teleprompter. But he is also doing it all out in the element and far away from the air-conditioned comfort of a studio. Listen to the wind whipping in this video. It was so strong he had to keep adjusting his hat to make sure it didn't fly away. And then look once it gets to the 40-second mark, how the rain picks up and is coming in sideways and hitting him right in the face. And everyone, the cast, the crew, the host, and yes, even the press, just had to sit there and take it. No rainouts on Survivor. And watching the host master general work in these conditions and never miss a beat never fails to impress. Droning on if you've been wondering how we captured that insanely cool Entertainment Weekly Survivor 50 cover. Here's a little behind the scenes taste as the drone makes its way around and gives each player their hero shot. You can see the players meticulously lined up in the shape of a 50. Eventually, the camera would fly straight up into the air where the 50 shape would be revealed. So cool. Anyway, check out the snippet below to see what it looked like to us in the moment from down the beach a bit. A winner's take. We've had quite a lineup of Survivor All-Stars stop by the mystery box this season. I mean, check out this list. Rachel Tyson, Parvati Wendell, and Bryce Kelly, Fishbuck, Kelly, Zeke, Sandra, Rochester, Nino. I knew we had to finish strong for our last mystery box, so I reached out to one of my favorite players ever, Survivor 40, to champion Marianne Oketch. Her joy is so infectious, and she makes the perfect person to bring it all home. So check out Marianne's take on the most recent Survivor 50 episode, and see who she picked as her winner and loser of the week. The last word S an outtake that was not included in my interview with Ozzy prior to the game, in which I asked him who from the cast he intended to model his game after. I believe I am prepared for the game's pace. I'm ready. I've been studying it. I've been watching it. I've been cramming it. I'm ready for this new pace. But that just underlines the need for super strong alliances. Because of this, I have a lot of respect for how Camilla and Kyle play their games. I'm taking inspiration from them, and I think that they did something that was really cool, and I'm stoked to be able to play with them. But they also got to know everyone's going to be looking at them like, y'all are the first to go. An outtake from my interview with Emily before the game about how she thought the other players saw her. I don't think they've spent a lot of thought about me, to be honest with you. But I think they'll view me as somebody who is outspoken, but also loyal. That seems to be a pretty good representation of the game I played on 45, in my opinion. But there are so many big threats out here that I genuinely think that if you ask them, I'm not even probably on their radar from the perspective of somebody that they're coming in with a lot of preconceived notions of. I could be wrong about that, but there's just a lot of big characters here. People who played arguably better games. I think I'm one of the lowest placing people in this season, actually. If I'm not mistaken. Therefore, I don't believe they even consider me. Screenshot of the week. Emily and Aubrey, best facial expressions of the season. Which explains why one of them or both of them appear to be here each week. Aubrey's eye roll to Ozzy gets it this week. Do you want to be informed about everything Survivor? Subscribe to Entertainment Weekly's free Survivor Weekly newsletter to receive all the most recent news, interviews, and commentary. For months, fans wondered whether Survivor 50 could truly live up to the massive hype surrounding the milestone season. Expectations were high when the season premiered, with returning legends, unpredictability in the plot, emotional surprises, and one of the most competitive casts in recent memory. Many seasoned viewers are now asking the same thing as the game nears its conclusion. Is Survivor 50 officially the best season of the new era? The answer may depend on what fans value most in the game, but one thing is clear: Survivor 50 has reignited the excitement, chaos, and emotional investment that made the franchise a global phenomenon in the first place. The season changed from the very first episode, Survivor 50. In contrast to other recent games that focused a lot on advantages and complicated mechanics, balanced strategy with character development, players were given room to breathe, alliances felt organic, and every tribal council carried genuine tension. Instead of twists dominating the story, the contestants themselves became the focus. One of the most compelling casts of the modern era was created as a result of that shift. Newer stars arrived eager to establish their legacy, while veteran players brought unfinished business with them. The result was a season packed with huge personalities, emotional rivalries, and constantly shifting alliances. No single group managed to dominate the game for long, which kept viewers guessing week after week. One of the biggest reasons fans are praising the season is its unpredictability. In recent years, many Survivor viewers complained that episodes became too formulaic, alliances stayed stable, unanimous votes became common, and advantages often remove suspense. However, Survivor 50 completely flipped that pattern. Every blindside changed the course of the game, and a number of contestants who were popular with fans were eliminated just as it appeared, as though they were in complete control. The shocking exits became a defining theme of the season. Every episode seemed to feature another dramatic collapse. Strategic geniuses were caught off guard. Physical threats were cut unexpectedly. Emotional bonds shattered under pressure. Even experienced players struggled to adapt as paranoia spread throughout camp. The uncertainty created an atmosphere reminiscent of classic Survivor seasons where nobody felt safe. Perhaps the most talked about storyline involved the collapse of multiple major alliances. At first, players attempted to create stable voting blocks, but trust proved almost impossible to maintain. Every contestant was forced to betray someone they considered to be a close ally. Plans were shifted overnight as a result of secret conversations, and information was constantly leaked. That emotional complexity gave the season a human element that many fans felt had been missing from recent installments. Strong editing also helped the season. Instead of focusing entirely on advantages or challenge outcomes, the show invested time in personal stories and social dynamics. Viewers learned why players made decisions, what emotional pressures they faced, and how relationships evolved throughout the game. As a result, eliminations carried emotional weight instead of feeling purely strategic. The pacing of Survivor 50 has also been a major strength. The episodes progressed swiftly without appearing rushed. The most important strategic discussions were clearly shown, and camp life moments added humor and personality. Modern Survivor is frequently criticized by fans for over-editing complex gameplay to create confusing chaos, but this season mostly avoided that issue. Usually, viewers could understand the reasoning behind the moves, even when plans changed quickly. The challenges also played an important role in elevating the season. Physical competitions were intense, but endurance and mental strength mattered just as much. Several immunity wins dramatically shifted the balance of power, especially during crucial late-game episodes. Some contestants emerged as unexpected challenge threats, while others struggled under mounting pressure. The emotional component was the final one. Survivor 50 delivered several unforgettable emotional moments that reminded viewers why the social experiment aspect of the show still matters. Contestants opened up about personal struggles, fears, and motivations. Friendships were formed in difficult circumstances, but they fell apart as a result of the game's brutal demands. Due to the genuine nature of the relationships, some betrayals were truly heartbreaking to watch. The jury phase has been especially fascinating. Unlike seasons where finalists coast quietly to the end, nearly every remaining player in Survivor 50 has blood on their hands. Strategic betrayals have created tension between jurors and finalists, setting up what could become one of the most dramatic final tribal councils in recent memory. Fans are already debating which style of gameplay deserves victory: loyalty, strategic aggression, social awareness, or pure adaptability. Naturally, not everyone who watches the season thinks it's perfect. Some fans still argue that the new era format moves too quickly compared to older seasons. Others think that the shorter length of the game makes it harder to build relationships. A few twists also receive mixed reactions online, especially when advantages threaten to overshadow strategic gameplay. Nevertheless, critics and all agree that Survivor 50 is a significant improvement over previous seasons. The fact that each episode is important sets the season apart from many other new era films. Few eliminations felt predictable, and nearly every contestant contributed something memorable to the story. The cast consistently produced compelling television, whether through strategy, emotional scenes, humor, chaos, or a combination of the three. The legacy factor also adds another layer to the season's success. Players recognize the significance of the occasion because it was the historic 50th season. The contestants worked harder, the risks got bigger, and the stakes on an emotional level felt higher. Nobody wanted to miss out on a chance to play one of the franchise's most iconic games. For longtime fans, the season feels like a bridge between classic and modern Survivor. It embraces fast-paced gameplay and modern strategy while still prioritizing relationships, storytelling, and emotional conflict. That balance may ultimately define why so many viewers are calling it the best new era season yet. It remains to be seen whether Survivor 50 will ultimately rank among the show's greatest seasons. Fans' memories of a season are often shaped by the season's finals, and one controversial one could significantly alter the conversation. But at this moment, the excitement surrounding the season is undeniable. After each episode, fans debate moves online. Former contestants are praising the gameplay. Social media remains filled with theories, power rankings, and emotional reactions. Most importantly, viewers once again feel emotionally invested in the outcome. That may be the clearest sign of success. For a franchise entering its 50th season, simply remaining relevant would have been impressive. Instead, Survivor 50 has managed to feel exciting, unpredictable, emotional, and fresh all at once. And many Survivor fans believe that is exactly what the best season should be like. When CBS announced Survivor 50, expectations immediately skyrocketed. Fans hoped the landmark season would feel special because reaching 50 seasons is a rare feat. For reality television franchises, unforgettable gameplay, emotional storytelling, shocking blindsides, and a cast that could make memorable television moments were what viewers wanted. Now, deep into the season, many fans believe Survivor 50 has delivered on nearly every level. The biggest question surrounding the season has become impossible to ignore. Is Survivor 50 truly the best season of the new era? While debates continue across social media and among longtime fans, there is a growing sense that the milestone season has captured something recent installments often struggled to maintain: unpredictability mixed with emotional investment. Instead of relying entirely on twists and advantages, the season has succeeded because of the players themselves. The energy felt different from the beginning. The cast arrived knowing they were participating in one of the most important seasons in franchise history. Nobody wanted to fade quietly into the background. The contestants showed up ready to make big moves, take chances, and leave a lasting legacy. Because of this mindset, every tribal council and every alliance felt like they were just temporary. Unlike several earlier new era seasons, Survivor 50 quickly established strong personalities. Fans connected with players not only because of strategy, but because of their emotions, rivalries, humor, and personal stories. Some contestants entered the game with reputations to protect, while others wanted redemption after disappointing previous appearances. That combination created instant tension. One of the season's greatest strengths has been its constantly shifting power structure. No alliance remained content for very long. Players who appeared completely safe one episode suddenly found themselves blindsided the next. Strategic plans changed overnight as trust collapsed and paranoia spread throughout camp. Even experienced veterans struggled to predict where votes would land. One of the season's defining themes was that unpredictability. Every week seemed to feature another shocking betrayal. Fan favorites disappeared unexpectedly, earlier than anticipated. Challenge beasts were the targets. At crucial points, social geniuses lost control. The contestants at several tribal councils were clearly stunned as their games abruptly ended. Fans online began comparing the chaos to classic Survivor seasons, where nobody truly controlled the game for long. At the same time, the season never became confusing simply for the sake of chaos. One criticism of the new era has been that modern gameplay sometimes moves too quickly for viewers to follow. However, strong editing and storytelling in Survivor 50 largely resolved that issue. The show spent more time talking about the connections, motives, and emotional stakes that go into making strategic decisions. The season showed why players turned against one another, not just random twists in the game. Betrayals carried emotional weight because viewers understood the connections involved. That emotional storytelling helped elevate the season beyond pure strategy. Several moments became instantly memorable because they felt real and personal. Contestants spoke openly about fears, regrets, family struggles, and insecurities. Friendships formed naturally under harsh conditions, only to fracture when the game demanded ruthless decisions. Watching players betray people they genuinely cared about created painful but compelling television. One alliance in particular captured the attention of fans early in the season. At first, the group appeared unstoppable. They controlled information, dictated votes, and seemed positioned to dominate the merge. But as individual ambitions grew, cracks slowly formed beneath the surface. Small lies turned into major trust issues, and paranoia eventually destroyed the alliance from within. The collapse became one of the season's biggest turning points. Another major factor behind the season's success has been the balance between old school and new school gameplay. Modern Survivor often emphasizes advantages, hidden idols, and complicated mechanics. While those elements still exist in Survivor 50, they no longer overshadow the social experiment aspect of the game. Relationships matter again. Conversations matter again. Emotional intelligence matters again. Fans who missed the character-driven storytelling of older seasons have responded positively to that shift. The challenges also helped make the season memorable. Several immunity contests evolved into dramatic battles that fundamentally altered the course of the game. Some underdog players surprised everyone with crucial victories at the perfect time, while others cracked under pressure during key moments. Throughout the season, physical endurance, the ability to solve puzzles, and mental focus all played important roles. Of course, no season is universally loved. Some viewers still believe the faster pace of the new era prevents deeper long-term storytelling. Others feel certain twists added unnecessary complications to already complex strategy. A few eliminations frustrated fans who wanted specific players to survive longer. However, even the majority of critics agree that the season is more exciting and emotionally engaging than previous seasons.